Whiscash looking to chip this Venusaur with the neutral Mud Bomb. Mud Bomb goes unshielded and we pivot into Tentacruel. The opponent sends out Wall Rain with only one Protect Shield too high behind. We're going straight for the Sludge Wave. The question is, does the opponent respect the damage? Welcome back to the home of Shadow Pokemon. My god, do we have a banger of a battle submission today from my good friend Alvin. Catch Cup means you've got a power up Pokemon that you've obtained in the last around 75-80 days. And Alvin has powered up a full Shadow team. We've got Shadow Dragonite, the most oppressive dragon of them all in the lead. We've got Shadow Whis Cash, an absolute staple in the switch position. And the closer is going to be the newly released Shadow Tentacruel. However, we're not running that nonsense horny for the debuff move of Acid Spray. We have got that Hail Mary, get out of jail nuke of Sludge Wave. Without any further ado, let's get into the battles. And in game number 1, we lead Dragonite into Clefable. Of course, not what we're looking to see. We see the immediate pivot into Shadow Whis Cash. The opponent goes straight for the obvious Meteor Mash, which probably means they haven't got a great response, as they're hoping that lands, and it does. Alvin fires off the Scald, forcing himself early shield advantage. And what the heck is on my screen? Boston, is this you? We see Salamence. Salamence does not tank that Scald particularly well. Holy cow. Shadow Salamence made a very brief appearance as it gets deleted by just a few Dragon Breaths. Back out comes Clefable, switch timers are misaligned. Alvin shields up his Dragonite, then pivots into Tentacruel, and this Clefable is switch locked. If the opponent doesn't have Psychic, we completely wall this energy. The opponent fires off the Meteor Mash, looking to stall the switch timer, but the switch timer doesn't pop up. Tentacruel gets the full Poison Jab farm down, and the opponent's final Pokemon is another Shadow Dragon. The opponent doesn't respect the Scald, and that just does far too much damage. The opposing Shadow Dragonite, which I might add is a very cool shiny flex, fires off the BM Superpower, and Alvin takes that game. Moving on to the next one. We see the Battle of Flyers, the oppressive Shadow Dragonite into the super spammy Gligar. Gligar goes straight for the Aerial Ace. Shadow Dragonite, not the bulkiest, but Alvin, not willing to shield up an Aerial Ace, as let's not kid ourselves. It might have been buffed, but it's still a move I'm always going to call Aerial Ass because it does pitiful damage. Alvin lands the Dragon Claw, leaving the bulky Gligar on a fraction of HP. We see Alvin invest the Protect Shield, looking to win lead to align his backline correctly, and that proves to be pivotal as the opponent also running Shadow Tentacruel. However, Shadow Tentacruel isn't going to fancy the work of Whis Cash. Alvin plays to a CMP tie that he does not win. This is actually an IV dependent CMP, however it usually is in Tentacruel's favour if both Mon have optimal PvP IVs. We force a Protect Shield with the Mud Bomb and the opponent sends out Poliwrath. We answer with Tentacruel. Both trainers running a double water backline, however Alvin has managed to get the correct alignment due to winning lead. We tank the Scald, return fire with our own Scald, the opponent unwilling to shield, and Poliwrath is now left deep in the red. This Scald will be lethal from this range. However, Poliwrath is rapidly running out of HP. Alvin farms up just before the back-to-back Mud Bombs. Where does the opponent invest that Protect Shield? The opponent putting it all on Tentacruel. However, unfortunately, the opposing Squidward is going to get outpaced. Alvin farms up to the back-to-back. You know the drill. The first Mud Bomb will be forcing the opponent's final Protect Shield, and the second one is going to be all she wrote. GG's, and thanks for playing. Shadow Whis Cash reminding us all why it is such a pest this season. In the next battle, we see Dragonite into Skeledirge, the opponent save switch into the Marshmallow Wiggles, and get fucking wrecked, trainer. Squidward absolutely feasting. This Toxic Charmer does make a charge move, but Squidward absolutely does not care. The opponent fires off the Icy Wind, and Squidward easily withstands the damage. Back out comes Skeledirge. We fire off the first Scald, not at the best timing. However, Alvin makes amends, firing 2 poison jabs and the next Scald for optimal fast move timing. The opponent looking for the full Incinerate farm down, which they do finally get. However, we do force both Protect Shields. We send out Whis Cash, and the opponent's forced to pivot into a Zoom Roll. The opponent did bank a boatload of energy on Skeledirge, but Alvin still has 2 Protect Shields too high behind, so we should be sitting in a pretty good spot. The bulky Blue Mouse goes straight for the Ice Beam, and Alvin still hanging on to 2 Protect Shields. He overfarms massively, fires off the Mud Bomb. Mud Bomb gets the Zoom Roll down to around half health. We then see Alvin make a savage catch, catching the next Ice Beam onto Dragonite. It looks like Alvin looking to put the stamp of authority in this battle, looking for a 2 shield flex. We massively overfarm, fire off the Mud Bomb. Mud Bomb secures the knockout. We look to fire off the Skull, but unfortunately We lose CMP, so Alvin's going to be unable to get the 2 shield flex, but we are going to win in emphatic style with Scold securing the 1-hit KO. GG's and thanks for playing. Oof, nightmare lead, Dragonite Dugong. No thank you, so we see the immediate pivot this time into Squidward. The opponent farm up to the drill run. Alvin looks to call the bait. However, we do withstand the super effective drill run and return fire with a sludge wave. The opponent shows no respect, near get one shot and then pivot out into Annihilate. The opponent looks for the counter farm down, but Tentacruel refuses to die, reaches the Scold, forcing a Protect Shield and getting the attack drop. Tentacruel putting in so much work. Alvin sends out Dragonite. Does the opponent have Ice Punch? Alvin last second invests the Protect Shield, and that is a good shield. Despite the opponent being debuffed, that Ice Punch would have been double super effective. Alvin forced to double shield. We do get a massive Dragon Breath farm down. If the opponent send back out Dugong, Dugong will get farmed down. The opponent send out Dugong, and then whatever they have in the back must be pretty weak as they just concede the match. Moving on to the next one. We lead our mighty Shadow Dragon into an imposter, aka Charizard. In fairness, Charizard can operate as a dragon type as it's got access to Legacy Dragon Breath and Dragon Claw. The opponent actually opted to save switch into Piloswine, and we answer with Wish Daddy Cash. We fire off the Scold, forcing a Protect Shield. The opponent bait with a Stone Edge. Trainer, what the heck is your second move? Why would you Stone Edge? The only explanation is the opponent's running double nukes with Stone Edge and high horsepower. However, I highly would not recommend masturbating like a potato. The opponent sends out Frostlass. We fire off the Mud Bomb, getting some very solid chip damage. Alvin, of course, isn't going to send Dragonite into something that is using an Ice type quick move as we're double weak. Instead, sends out Tentacruel. Tentacruel even tanked the Shadow Ball. Alvin is now going to be forced to start shielding up baits. The opponent then pivots out into Charizard, and Charizard is going to be forced to burn the final shield on this Scold. Scold does force the final Protect Shield, and we send out Dragonite. Alvin's also going to have to vest his final Protect Shield on the incoming Dragon Claw. We are going to be able to outpace to our own Dragon Claw. Is Dragon Claw enough to knock out Charizard? So classy. Dragon Claw does secure the knockout, and we Dragon Breath farm down Frostlass and take that game. Dragonite Annihilate. The opponent save switch into Dugong. I'm calling double ice. If you're wondering why I think that, if the opponent's got a fighter in the lead and they're save switching into an ice type, of course Annihilate is weak to fly in. You wouldn't save switch in your hard counter of an ice type unless you had another ice type in the back. I think we're very quickly going to be able to find out if I'm right or if the opponent has indeed switched in the hard counter. Alvin fires off the Scold, getting the attack drop that allows Wish Daddy Cash to tank the next Icy Wind and even reach the Mud Bomb. However, double debuffed. Is Mud Bomb enough to knock out? Oof, no it isn't. Alvin sends out Tentacruel, gets a running start. The opponent sends back out Annihilate, but they've managed to flip switch. Please don't be double ice. Alvin fires off the Scold. Scold forced to protection, will then pivot out into Dragonite. Dragonite able to reach the Dragon Claw on what looks like to be a CMP tie. Dragon Claw goes unshielded. The opponent does have another ice type. Mr. Opponent, why didn't you immediately pivot? The opponent not playing the ABB team particularly optimally. So if I was the opponent, as soon as we pivoted back out into Dragonite, I'd be spamming the switch into Frostlass. However, like this, Alvin's able to hang on to 2 Protect Shields. We fire off the first Scold. The opponent looks to call the bait, and Alvin manages to get a 2 shield flex. The tough leads continue. Yet another ice type. I'll be honest, I was half expecting this Alolan Ninetales to be running Charm, but it is actually running Powder Snow. Alvin save switches into Wish Daddy Cash. So this is what I was talking about in the last battle. We've obviously got a very hard check for this in the form of Tentacruel. However, we save switched into our soft counter of Wish Daddy Cash, and this is effectively how you give yourself the best chance of flipping games when you lose lead. You always go into your soft counter, hoping your hard check for the lead is able to core break the remainder of the opponent's team. Alvin has already reached Legend. However, he is playing in the 2500, and I think there's a reason why some of these battlers are stuck at this elo range. The opponent stayed in when they had a very hard answer for Wish Daddy Cash. They invested a Protect Shield, and they could have just immediately pivoted into this little mushroom looking fucker. However, instead, they invested a Protect Shield. They then went for the world's most aggressive Astonish farm down for no reason whatsoever and were forced to burn the final shield, giving Tentacruel a 2-0 shield advantage, and that is just going to be game over. Tentacruel isn't particularly a huge core breaker for the remainder of this opponent's team. However, with a 2-0 shield advantage, Alvin should have no problem cleaning up. We fire off the Scold, we get the attack drop. Of course, Alvin won't shield this move up. The move we've got to be fearful of is a potential side shock. The opponent fire off the debuff rock-type weather ball that does absolutely nothing. Back out comes Ninetales. We go straight for the Scald. The opponent, of course, invests that final protect shield. Alvin's probably going to shield up whatever the opponent throw, as side shock would be their only win con. The opponent full sends the side shock. Back out comes Amoonguss. We're going to greet it with the Scald. As Ninetales won't make another move, Scald secures the knockout and we poison jab down Ninetales and take that game. So if you are struggling around veteran rank and blaming the algorithm, start recording your battles, watch some of them back and see if you played like that last opponent did, and that probably is the reason you haven't ranked up as opposed to getting hard countered. In the next battle we see a familiar lead, Dragonite into Annihilate. Annihilate is able to win the one shield if they've got Ice Punch. Alvin catches Ice Punch number 2 onto Squidward where it is resisted. The opponent then answers our Tentacruel save switch with Golbat. Can we survive a Shadow Ball as well? Alvin puts faith in his IVs. We withstand the Shadow Ball and reach the Scald. Holy cow. I really need to get Tentacruel built as it looks so good in the Great League. It's able to get this Golbat on a sliver of HP. It's so low that we can send out Dragonite. We're going to be able to Dragon Breath farm down before they even reach a Poison Fang. We've got so much residual energy. The opponent sends out Annihilate, but it's just going to get farmed down. The opponent sends out their third, which is Scrafty ABA Fighters. What a team comp. Although speaking of what a thing, what a savage catch. Great play from the opponent, catching the super power onto the low health Annihilate. However, Alvin still sitting in a pretty good spot. We tank the foul play. Alvin farms up, full sends the Scald. Scald should be forcing the opponent's final protect shield, which it does. The opponent dumps energy. Alvin going to invest his final protect shield, looking to reach one further Scald. The opponent acid spray as Alvin commits to the next Scald. We don't get there. Back out comes Dragonite. Is this Dragon Claw enough to knock out? Yes, it is, but very, very well played, that opponent. The 2500s really is the Wild West. You've got such a vast difference in abilities. Some players are playing, in my opinion, not particularly well, and some players are playing phenomenally. In this battle, Alvin hard won lead, Dragonite into Wish Daddy Cash. The opponent save switched into Dragonair. Alvin stayed in, fired off the Dragon Claw. However, despite gaining shield advantage, I'm not sure if I agree with that play as it cost us almost all of our HP. We then sent out Tentacruel to get a running start. That is going to allow Squidward to outpace Whiscash to the Scald, which does land for heavy neutral damage. Tentacruel still had enough health to not enable the opponent to mudshot farm down, so perhaps it was the correct play. However, this opposing Whiscash is in a really awkward health range where we're not really about to mudshot farm down. Our Dragonite's essentially dead. We send out Whiscash. We attempt to make the catch. Our Dragonite was actually a lot lower than I even remember. We actually get mudshot farm down. Very good patience from the opponent. Alvin shields up the Scald, and we're now actually going to be at shield disadvantage from a good spot. The opponent gets the attack drop, then send out Gligar. This is going to get close. With the attack drop, we're going to need 2 Scalds to secure the knockout. The opponent doesn't shield the first. Our Whiscash is in a range where 1 dig and 1 aerial ace will be lethal. Alvin farms up. He's going for a very risky mud bomb bait. Is Alvin the best master in the world? The opponent shield the bait. We're able to outpace to the Scald. Scald will be securing the knockout. Alvin is going to pull off the dub. GG's. Whiscash is just such a broken Pokemon. Holy cow. In the next battle, another Annihilate in the lead. In the Catch Cup, I suppose it makes sense as a lot of people did obtain this Pokemon for the first time as it has been released this season. The opponent doesn't shield the Dragon Claw. Alvin is going to respect the Ice Punch, which the opponent has. The opponent not wanting to get farmed down, pivot into Skarmory, and we answer again with Wish Daddy Cash. It's time to play everyone's favourite game of 50-50. Do we get the attack drop? Do we not? There it is. Holy cow, 50% is just a joke in my opinion. Let's take this really common meta matchup. Whiscash versus Skarmory. If you get the attack drop like Alvin did on the first one, the opponent can't go double sky attack as it just won't get the job done. The opponent massively overfarmed, play to a CMP tile. They do not win. Shout out my faction's teammate, the GOAT, Homeslice Henry, for that quote. The opponent needs a Brave Bird to secure the knockout. The opponent does full send the Brave Bird. We send out Dragonite. The opponent again not wanting to get farmed down, pivot into Gligar. We go straight for the Dragon Claw. Dragon Claw forces the final Protect Shield on the CMP tie. And we can just save our shield for Squidward and we should be good to go. Tentacruel needs to 1v3 this opponent's team. Annihilate is nothing more than a sacrificial swap. However, Alvin does have to be mindful that Skarmory does have residual energy. We invest our final protection on the dig. Dig, of course, will be super effective. However, I'm unsure if Dig or Brave Bird do the most damage. Scald secures the knockout. The opponent sends back out Skarmory. Skarmory indeed did have residual energy. We're able to win the CMP tie. Scald secures the knockout, and Annihilate is going to get Poison Jab farmed down, and Squidward sweeps the team. GG's, and thanks for playing. Time for today's school lesson. So I went onto PvPoke and they didn't know the answer to something, so I looked it up. Gligar using Dig and Skarmory using Brave Bird both do exactly the same amount of damage to Tentacruel, 70.4%. Speaking of school lessons, if you see Dragonite versus Dragonair, if you go straight Dragon Breath, Dragonair should survive with around 19 HP, which actually means they can survive 2 further Dragon Breaths, so that must have been the world's worst Shadow Dragonair with dreadful IVs, as Alvin was able to completely Dragon Breath farm it down. There is a Brave Bird from Skarmory. You can see around 70-75% depending on IVs. Tentacruel tanked it like a boss, forced the Protect Shield with the Scald, and we've now got Shadow Whis Daddy Cash with a 2-0 shield advantage. And my top tip for this opponent would be just top left, as you're just playing out the inevitable. Alvin doesn't even need to shield this move up. Do we go for the 2 shield flex? Last second Alvin invests the Protect Shield and the opponent masturbate with the Mud Bomb. This next one Alvin isn't going to respect again, it's just the Mud Bomb. Alvin over farms, fires off the Scald. Hi Whiscash, bye Whiscash. Trainer, why are you still playing? Why are you wasting all our time? The opponent last second top left when they could have done that around 2 minutes ago. In the next battle, very tough lead. We see the pivot into Squidward and the opponent sends out Skarmory. This is the definition of a neutral matchup. Tentacruel running Poison Jab, the opponent running Steel Wing. They're both clones of each other. Both of our cheapest charge moves cost 50 energy with Scald and Sky Attack respectively. However, the opponent probably has a slight advantage as Steel double resist Poison, whereas Water only single resist Steel. However, regardless, Alvin once again forced himself shield advantage in the mid game. The opponent does exit with a Brave Bird. If I was Alvin, fuck it, just sack the Dragonite. It's going to be shit against that Frostlass. We see the no shield. Dragonite's going to get boomed from absolute full health. I love booms, whether it's us getting boomed, the opponent getting boomed, or even myself getting boomed. Alvin, in my opinion, did make the correct play, putting it all on Wish Daddy Cash, and that is a very good choice, as Whiscash is pretty decent against the remainder of the opponent's team. They send out Gligar. Someone is at Alvin's front door, but that isn't going to distract him, or at least I hope it doesn't. Are we about to see this season's most busted Pokemon sweep another team? The opponent fire off the triple axle, vamping up their attack. Alvin full sends the Scald. The opponent doesn't respect it. Whiscash looks for the mud shot farm down, and we get it back out. Comes Gligar. They're so low. You know the drill. The first Mud Bomb will be forcing the opponent's final Protect Shield, and the second Mud Bomb, despite being resisted, is going to be all she wrote. Please nerf this Pokemon for the love of God. In the next battle, we see Dragonite into the silly electric fish. I can't believe this is the first one we've seen, and we're over 18 minutes into the video. Dragonite farms up, throws the Dragon Claw on the CMP tie. The opponent goes straight Surf. Dragonite might be glassy, but Trainer Surf isn't going to get the job done. Hopefully the opponent's CMP tie us again like a potato. The opponent actually takes the extra, so I imagine they're going to look to one shield and farm down, which they do. However, where's this energy going against the most busted Pokemon in the entire world, Whiscash? The opponent fire off the Surf. Whiscash, looking stoned as fuck, easily tanks it. Out comes Venusaur. Alvin looking for the chip and dip with the neutral Mud Bomb. Mud Bomb goes unshielded, and we pivot into Squidward, drawing out Walrus. The opponent with only one Protect Shield, too hard behind Alvin. Full sends the Sludge Wave. Does the opponent respect the damage? Get that Walrein out of here. Back out comes Venusaur, and the opponent is going to concede the match. What a boom. Even by my very own low standards, this video's been shambles. I don't know why people watch my channel, I'll be honest. Dragonite into Clodsire. We attempt to catch a Sludge Bomb or Stone Edge onto Tentacruel. We're unsuccessful. Alvin invests the Protect Shield, and it turns out to be a good one, as the opponent certainly is not baiting. Full sending an Earthquake. We farm up, return fire with the Scald. Scald goes unshielded. I even missed that boom. I definitely thought the opponent would survive. They did not. Tentacruel gets another victim. Come on, Jamie, pull yourself together. The opponent sends out Dragonite. Tentacruel just again refusing to die. Tanks the body slam, returns fire with the skull. Dragonite did survive, but not particularly well. The opponent's final Pokemon is Salazzle. What the heck are these mud shots doing? It looks like Mud Slap. That's definitely Mud Shot. The opponent full send a Dragon Pulse. Whiscash doesn't care. The opponent gets completely Mud Shot farmed down. Oh, God. And we win another very strange game. Deep breath. Moving on to the next one. Dragonite into Gligar. The opponent doesn't spam the Aerial Ace as soon as they get it. Alvin throws the Dragon Claw as soon as he gets it, giving the opponent a free wing attack. The opponent farm up. We're probably approaching Aerial Ass range. We respect it with a Protect Shield. The opponent then aggressively send out Pylo Swine, and we answer with Wish Daddy Cash. Please don't Stone Edge me. If they get Stone Edged again, that's going to end the video. I'm just leaving, and we're just going to end it there. Please throw an Avalanche. Please throw an Avalanche. The opponent does throw the Avalanche, and Whiscash again shows very good bulk, tanking the damage. Alvin is going to invest the protection on the Avalanche. Look to get Pylo out of here with the Scald. Whiscash again being an absolute menace. Scald easily secures the knockout. I don't think Whiscash is making another move. Yep, certainly not, as the opponent sends out Decidueye. We answer Decidueye with Dr. Squidward. Frenzy Plant is going to hit for neutral, but Tentacruel has been pretty thick throughout this video. Ouch, that hurt. The opponent make a very nice catch. Actually, no, that's a dreadful catch. I take it back. They sack Gligar. We can now send out Dragonite, fire off the Dragon Claw, and the opponent gift us a win. GG's, and thanks for playing. I think people are now just sending me battles, trying to get me to crack up, and clearly you're winning. In the next battle, Dragonite into the Quagman. Does the opponent have Stone Edge? Who knows, as they pivot into Gligar. Alvin stays in, chips them with some Dragon Breath and a Dragon Claw. Dragon Claw not only forced a Protect Shield, we've pretty much put them into Scald range, which of course we're going to start trying to Scald them with the most busted Pokemon in the world, or Wish Daddy Cash. The opponent full send the Dig, which Alvin showed little respect for. He's not really respected too much in this video. We fire off the Scald. The opponent is now all shields down, looking to flip that alignment. Alvin going to start investing shields rather than 2 shield flex, and we shield up the first Aerial Ace. Alvin is going to be forced to double shield. However, the opponent's switch timer will be popping up, so I imagine they're going to look to make a catch. Speaking of which, there is the catch. I must be Psychic. The opponent catch the Scald onto Tentacruel. We get the attack drop, which is super unnecessary, as these poison jabs are resisted, and we're going to take out a Mud Bomb. The opponent not really getting the value out of Tentacruel like we have been. The opponent has switch locked themselves. The opponent sends back out Gligar. We should have instantly pivoted, but it is what it is. We know this does around 70.4%. Thank you very much, PV Poke. The opponent fire off the Dig. We're going to take out Gligar with the Scald. And we could get boomed if the opponent's got Stone Edge. Moment of truth. Back out comes the Quagman. They get a very nice Mud Shot farm down. Moment of truth. Do they have Stone Edge? I definitely run Stone Edge. I think Aquatel's shit. Let's see what the opponent's running. They overfarm too much. Even if they've got Stone Edge, they allow us to make the Dragon Claw. Dragon Claw leaves them incredibly low. Come on, trainer. Give us another boom. Aquatel. That was disappointing. Aquatel, such a mid move. We even survive another Dragonite. Able to Dragon Breath farm down, and Alvin takes the dub. Dragonite into Gligar. I'm having far too much fun today, clearly. The opponent say switch into Skarmory, and we answer with Wish Daddy Cash. Coin flip time. I'm going to say Alvin gets the debuff, because Whiscash always gets the debuff. And I'm wrong, actually. We don't get a debuff, so Alvin is going to respect the first move and try his luck again. Holy moly, the opponent full send a Brave Bird. If I was battling right now, you would have seen my Whiscash get boomed. Alvin very nicely overfarms, throws the Mud Bomb on the CMP tie. As the opponent lowered their own defense by 3 stages, the single resisted Mud Bomb secures the knockout. Back out comes Gligar, and the opponent is probably going to burn the shield regardless, as we're going to fire off a Scald. No, trainer, what are you saving these shields for? Seriously, Whiscash doesn't need any help to look OP. Please start shielding. The opponent fire off the Dig, then make a catch, catching the Mud Bomb onto Dugong. Alvin pivot. Holy crap, we do pivot, but we give the opponent free farm. Alvin gonna call the Icy Wind bait. The opponent full send their Drill Run, but Squidward far too thick. Of course, there's no need for a Sludge Wave. Surely the opponent shield this right. Thank you, trainer. We get the attack drop. Alvin gonna call the Icy Wind now. I think at this stage it's kind of irrelevant. The opponent full send their Drill Run. But Dragonite gonna do what Dragonite always does. Dragon Breath down the shit out of everything, and we should be able to take this game. We Dragon Breath farm down Dugong and Dragon Breath farm down Gligar, and that is game over. Not only game over, that is the final battle. Huge shout out to Alvin. That was incredibly fun. The last few shoutcasts I've really enjoyed. Huge shout out to everyone that sends me battles. Speaking of which, if you'd like to be featured on my channel, for some strange reason, I don't know why, as I personally think my channel is shambles, but it is what it is. My battle submission form is linked down below. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.